A lot of empaths right now are struggling. People from all over the world are noticing they're getting more and more sensitive. Their emotions are now being felt stronger than ever, but there's a very important and powerful reason for that. A lot of empathic people are now going through a spiritual awakening. Hey, what's going on, my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor and I have a special guest. This is Drew Canole, the owner of Organifi. And today we're going to share with you 3 signs that you're an empath, but not only an empath going through a spiritual awakening. Sign number 1, esoteric, metaphysical, religious, spiritual content that maybe never in the past interested you starts to resonate, makes sense, and you're very drawn to it, and it even kind of falls into your lap. Like for me, I started reading a lot about near-death experiences, and that was kind of how what opened my mind to what Aaron was saying, the possibilities of what was possible in reality. And that eventually led to like Dolores Cannon, more of like the hardcore sort of esoteric materials. It sounds kind of crazy, but I would read these books and it would just like resonate with a part of my soul.
Yes.
Can you really
similar for me too, Victor.
Really?
You know, way back in the day, I think I was like 15, and I found my very first Stuart Wilde book. I was like running in the park, and it was just sitting on a bench. It was Life Was Never Meant to Be a Struggle. And I remember the book as clear as day. It's about this thick, tiny little book. And my attention span back then, when I was 15, was so small, the book was perfect, right? So I read that, and my whole entire life has been one example and one demonstration after another of finding miscellaneous works and different books that have contributed to my spiritual life.
Okay.
Right? So Neville Goddard was another huge one, Joel Goldstein, and all the other gospels outside of the Bible. You know, there's 300 different books that were written in between the time when Jesus was here and like the time when they wrote the book. You know, 300 other books, and the Gospel of Thomas is absolutely amazing. And then there's, of course, the the Quantum Physics of Consciousness, an amazing book. Like, there's just so many great books out there that you can find when you really start tapping into that field that's all around us.
Yeah, were you at all puzzled at the fact that these books, like, you were drawn to them? Like for me, I was never a spiritual guy. I was like, why is this so interesting to me?
I always knew I was different.
Oh, okay.
Because at a really young age, I had very lucid dreams.
Yes, okay.
I was literally from 0 to 5, I was tortured as a kid and abused, and I had all the stuff going on with my biological family that I like to say now, reframing it, that I chose to be in this life experience with them. But it was pretty crazy. So I had this nightmare every single night, and I would wet the bed every night for like 3 months. I was 4 years old, just a little guy. And then I would see a monster in my dream, which scared me, which is why I peed my pants in dream time. And then one night I realized that I woke up in the dream, and I was like 4 years old. And I realized the monster wasn't real, that I was just dreaming. And I shrunk the monster in my dream. And then I realized that the monster, as I was holding it in my arms, this cute little baby, stuffed animal, was actually the relationship that I had with my father, who was doing all the abuse. So the core of who he wasn't the monster. It was actually this guy that was just confused as my father. He had a lot of pressure on him, so he was taking it out on me. So the dream landscape shifted. So I knew I was different.
Yes,
okay,
yeah.
At a very young age, and I had lucid dreams and all this other stuff. I used to talk to guides in my dreams and like see different ascended masters when I was really young. And it's just been one thing after another. I've had mentors my whole entire life that are very spiritual.
Okay.
The Don that I work with now is a super powerful being. So I've just been blessed to have people in my life that have kind of guided me on that path.
Okay, beautiful. That's very interesting. I like that. I remember hearing your dream when you did the Paul Chek podcast. I think you shared about that. That's awesome. And as you guys can see, it can happen in many different ways. He was already sort of definitely predisposed at a very young age, and therefore more receptive and open, where me, it took like I was caught by more surprise, but nonetheless, the right books at the right time will fall into your life to give you like, just what you need. We were just talking, I think last night about that. We were talking about this awesome book, Awareness, and he was like, you were driving up.
Yeah,
Remember
Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And I parked in the parking lot, and the book was literally sitting right on the lamp that sticks up from the parking lot.
Yeah.
And it was right there.
It's funny that that's happened to you on multiple occasions.
Yeah,
That's
multiple
awesome.
occasions.
Yeah.
And also, if you ask Spirit, or the universe, or as I like to call it, the big uni, to deliver magic in the moment, you can read a book, you can open up to it, and you'll read like a page or two, and then maybe 3 hours later you open up a different book, read a page or two of that, and then another book a few hours later, but all of them are interrelated and woven together for the message that you need that day.
Beautiful.
So you're collapsing the different messages and the information that you're actually getting from the book that you choose to read too.
Yeah.
And even messages from like homeless people on the street, like that's a divine being talking to you.
Yeah.
And when you see everybody as the child of God or as Jesus in disguise, like Mother Teresa said, what shows up for you is absolutely incredible. You're living a mystical experience.
Yeah.
And you're in it.
And that's one of the things I think that happens when you start to wake up. You start to like actually experience that type of magic in your life.
Yeah, it's everything's magical.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, not only is your life magic, but everybody around you, when you are one with them, is magic as well.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you, brother.
Sign number 2 is I wrote down the past starts to come up.
Yeah.
To be healed and cleansed.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, just, when you go through a spiritual awakening, life can sometimes kind of shift you around and sort of advance you on your path. And these new opportunities, these new places you go to in your life can sometimes trigger the past that is now relevant to let go of. You've experienced that, right?
Absolutely. I think one thing, and I was talking about this in our buddy Aaron's video as well, was what helps me deal with the past is what's called TRE, so trauma release exercises. And it's literally where you sit on a wall, you wear your legs out a little bit, then you lay on the ground and have kind of a butterfly, and you tremor. So you're shaking, the tremors are shaking out of your subconscious.
Wow.
So it's more than a mind thing.
Yes.
We can use positive affirmations, we can use hypnosis, we can use all these things to change the mind, but if the chemicalization of thought still triggers something that's in body, you're going to experience it as if it's real. So I'm a big fan of starting in the body, getting rid of it, where you're actually feeling it, cleansing it, moving away from it. So TRE has been really helpful for me. And dealing with a lot of the trauma from the past, I've done EMDR, I've done a lot of, I work with a psychologist every week still. So it's not like it's gone away, but I'm dealing with it, I'm handling it. Where it comes up with me most is probably in romantic relationships.
Yes.
Because that's the, mom neglected me as a child, she wasn't there, so now I have this subconscious little program that I've compartmentalized and I put in a little box that I know where it is and I'm aware of it, right? Having awareness is huge, but I'm not good enough to be loved. So any thing in the universe that starts to show me that's when I know the human trigger of the personal vehicle that we call Drew is being triggered, and I get to step outside of that and really analyze that and deal with that.
Yeah.
So it's really coming to terms in those moments as well.
Awesome. And I really like how you say that, how Drew's had an incredible story, honestly. And he's amounted such a high level of not only success and abundance, but like you're a good guy. You're really someone who I aspire to be, like lives in the flow. And he still deals with stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Stuff from the past. I think a lot of people who would watch my channel, including my younger self, I was like, when can I be healed? When can it be over? And it's just an ongoing healing process that you've sort of attracted into your life, modalities that resonate, which they're fairly interesting to me. I'm gonna check into I like something similar, bioenergetics. You heard of that?
Oh yeah.
It's basically the same. It's about shaking out the I think the erotic holding patterns.
Shaking's massive.
Yeah, which that tension's correlated with that emotional component, so it's very similar. But yeah, you've sort of accepted that your life is going to just require at times different necessities to take time for yourself and heal.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the main thing is sort of accepting that and just doing your best, letting life trigger you, letting that stuff come up, and then dealing with it in whatever way works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all human. We all have stuff that we're dealing with.
Yes.
And we're not alone. I think when we realize that we're in this together, we become more worthy and we become more whole. Wholeness is oneness. So what I see in myself, I also see in you.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful.
I liked what you said earlier when you spoke in front of Organifi, the company. It was the message of being more kind to yourself. And we all get to do that. So I think this transformation that you could be going through, and the awakening that you're having, and the new things that you're feeling, the bodily sensations, even some of them are pretty painful, you guys, to be honest. Some may be more mindset oriented, like more thought wise, and some may be more emotional. You may be experiencing emotions that you've never felt before. They're just erratic and you don't know what it is. And then there's the people that have physical pain, right? So depending on which one you are, you know, what starseed you fall under or whatever else, you're okay. Be kind to yourself and know that this too shall pass.
Awesome. I like to look at it like somebody had questioned earlier in the talk. They mentioned like, well, when these healings come, they saw it as a backslide, and it's sort of like a problem, like they messed up somewhere.
Yeah.
I like how he sort of is saying like it's okay, it's going to happen, but it's all part of your forward progress. The way I see it.
Yes. So I grew up for a certain point in my life studying Christian Science.
Yes,
and that is the metaphysical teachings of what Jesus was doing here. And one of the things Mrs. Eddy said, in the 1800s, the end of the 1800s, this woman wrote a book that complemented the Bible and explained some of the things in a metaphysical way.
Oh, cool.
And one of the quotes that has always resonated with me in regards to backsliding is she said, there are no retrograde steps. So there's no way that you can have a retrograde step because every step that you're taking is perfect now.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's just unfolding, the continual unfoldment of good, and it's just another chance to be more fully expressed as a human being.
Exactly.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. Sign number 3 is you're calling your life purpose. Purpose starts to call to you, and it can happen in a variety of different ways. For me, it was I had sort of established a pretty secure life. I was married, I had 3 kids, a nice house, leased cars, I had 2 businesses, I owned this gym and grew medical marijuana in my basement. So I was like,
you still growing medical marijuana?
No, I'm not. No, I don't anymore. Yeah. And all of a sudden, it was like I had sort of created what I thought I wanted, but then it's like this higher calling, this purpose started to like feel like I gotta go do this other thing on YouTube. And I gotta move to San Diego. I was in Michigan at the time, and it's like this is so crazy. But it was like it became a real thing where I knew that I was not gonna be happy. Not going to be satisfied. And even in my decision to cling to the familiar, it all started to kind of decay. My gym started failing. My medical marijuana plant had so many random crazy issues. It was like life was saying, you got to go do this thing now. But it's very common for people who are waking up. And I know you probably experienced this as well.
100%. Yeah, so 11 years ago, I was in Tampa, Florida. I was running the credit and debt settlement company. I was 40 pounds overweight, out of shape, feeling lethargic and lazy. Didn't really have a lot of purpose and passion in my life. And I met with this guy named Frank every day. Frank was probably still my greatest mentor that I've ever had. And we would have breakfast together, and we would read scripture, and we would look at some of these metaphysical teachings and whatnot. And Frank said, if you do anything else for the rest of your life, make sure you do something that impacts the rest of the world or people every day. Like you're constantly giving, and Frank's the demonstration of that. The guy walks into a room and people start crying because of the frequency and the energy that this guy has. And he changed my life. So I decided, likened to you, what you just said, is you didn't settle. And I didn't settle. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do something that lights my soul on fire. And that was, I wanted to help people feel better in their bodies. I wanted to help people feel more self-worth. I wanted to help them charge their cells through the power of nutrition. So I started juicing every single day, green juice, copious amounts of green juice, a whole cadre of vegetables. And I was drinking it every single day, and I was feeling great. In 90 days, I lost the 40 pounds. I went out and bought an HD flip cam. I was recording. I was one of the first influencers on YouTube actually talking about nutrition and health. And, my videos back then would get like 12 views a day. I was killing it. I was the guy that was messaging my dad. I'm like, Dad, you didn't watch my video. I still have 12 videos from yesterday, right? And then it just grew, and it turned into this business of helping people with their health. And I was so on fire living in my purpose and pursuing my passion that it gave me great amounts of energy. And it wasn't like I was working at all. I was just stoked to be doing it. And you feel that way too, because I've seen what you're creating, and it's awesome.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things I've discovered is like along the way when you find your purpose, you go for it, you finally like yield to what life is asking of you. There's you may not be where you think you need to be in your mind, but like there's that feeling of alignment.
Yes.
Like I remember like tearing down, like my whole basement was like at one point decked out with like, it was all grown up. And I remember having to like get out there or get down there, like take the nails out. I'm not very handy. It was a big pain in the ass, sort of laborious job. But it was like every nail that came out, it just felt good because I was finally on my path. And success and abundance sort of has come as a result for you as well. But it's more like just that feeling of being on your path that's so satisfying.
Yeah.
So you don't, it's just about starting.
Yes, and even to add on to that, because I love what you're saying there, Victor, is even if you're not on your path and you have kids or you have all these things that you have to take care of and you're not able to pursue like your dream job, you have to find love and joy in everything that you're doing every day. So if you can like literally bring yourself to a state of rapture, cleaning the windows in your house or whatever you're doing, and there's so much inspiration coming from that one act because you know that the humans that look through that window for the rest of the day get to see the beauty and all of God's goodness out in front of you, and you can put yourself in that rapturous state doing the simplest, most mundane acts. I think that's like mastery.
Yes.
So
I agree.
it's turning what would be a trial or a tribulation into one of the greatest blessings that you could have, and then watching that, how that changes your vibration and your frequency to attract that purpose. Like you had talked about earlier, the paintbrush that you guys were chatting about, and every day you're finding those things that light your soul on fire, and you're living in that state, and you're intending that that's going to show up more and more. Because it's the power of attention that brings that back into our experience and puts you in that alignment with your soul's purpose and desire.
Awesome, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. Well, thank you, my friend. Thank you, Drew.
Yes.
I really, I feel
Drew.
like almost,
Yeah, come on, bring it in.
I feel like very humbled by your presence being on my channel. Like people look at me like an authority, but I look at you like, this guy, he's way further along. You really are living it, man, and I'm so blessed to have you on my channel. So thank you.
We're in this together.
Yeah.
And thanks for doing what you do. I know that the people that are watching this right now, they're learning so much from you. You're increasing their vibration, and collectively we're doing this together. So thanks for watching this guy. He is absolutely incredible. I've had the pleasure to get to know him. He's been at my house for a couple days, him and Aaron, and it's been amazing having him. I'm looking forward to them coming back and us filming more videos. What do you guys think?
Yeah, awesome. Hey, Drew, where can people find you?
Fit Life TV, my
Life
YouTube
TV.
channel. We'll just leave a link.
I'll leave links down below, my friend. If you want to hear more from Drew, you go ahead and click that link, and we'll.
And my superfood company is Organifi, so if you want to,
Organifi, okay.
maybe we can give the family a little discount on that too.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll leave a link down for Organifi as well, which is amazing, by the way. I was at a couple days ago. He served us this. It was the gold hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Me and Aaron's over here too.
Yeah,
we were like,
amazing.
damn,
So
this
good,
is phenomenal.
yeah.
It's delicious and very good quality.
And people dream more when they drink this stuff because it opens up your pineal gland and you just really feel good.
Me and Aaron had a good night's
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah,
remember?
that's
Yeah, cool.
Good stuff.
Well, thank you again, Drew. Appreciate it.
Thank
Bye,
you, brother.
everybody.
See you.